Okay, so you open deck screen, new token, green, green, green. You think, I am early, so you buy. Here's the thing, you aren't early. Something bought before you in the first block, sometimes the first 400 milliseconds, and it's already selling into your buy. That is a sniper bot. And doesn't just happen sometimes. On Solana, it shows up in roughly 84% of new token launches. On Ethereum, it lives in the mempool. On BSC, it hits every second block. Sniper bots are automated programs that buy new tokens faster than any human can. They don't hold. They don't believe in the project. They extract value from your trade and move on. This is not a fringe problem. This is a structural feature of every major chain right now. I am Ombogo Mushemi, founder of Guava Wallet Intelligence, and today we are breaking down exactly how snipers work, how much they cost you, and what you can actually do about it. So again, what are sniper bots? A sniper bot is a software. That's it. It is not smarter than you. It is not more connected. It's just faster, way faster. Here's what happens. A developer adds liquidity to a new token pair on a DEX. That moment, that transaction hits the chain. The sniper sees it. It has been watching. Not watching like you and me, checking Twitter or DEX screener. Watching at the RPC level, pinging every 50 milliseconds for new pool creation events. The bot has a transaction pre-built and partially signed. The second it detects liquidity, it submits a buy. Not after analysis, not after checking the token's website, immediately. On Solana, that means inside the same 400 milliseconds block. On Ethereum, it means bidding up gas in the 12-second mempool window to front-run your transaction. Then it sells, often within minutes, sometimes within the same block on Solana, using Jito bundles to buy and sell atomically. The bot takes profit from the price impact of its own buy, and you, the human who arrived 3 seconds later, are left holding the bag. So, what is the mechanism? How do they beat you? Let's get specific. The mechanism is different on every chain, and that matters. Ethereum. The mempool is public. When you submit a buy transaction, it sits in the mempool, visible to everyone. MEV bots see it, copy it, and submit the same buy with a higher gas fee. Validators pick the higher fee, transaction first. You get front run. This is called MEV extraction. And roughly 90% of Ethereum validators run MEV-Boost, which explicitly enables this. Over 30 days in early 2026, MEV bots extracted approximately $24 million from Ethereum users. That is not a bug. That is the system working as designed. On Solana, there is no public mempool. You cannot front-run what you cannot see. Instead, snipers compete on raw latency. They collocate servers physically close to validators. They use dedicated RPC nodes from Helios or QuickNode with sub 50 millisecond response times. They pay Jito tips to get Bado inclusion. When a new token launches on Pump.fun or Radium, over 200 bots compete to buy in the first 500 milliseconds. Only 10 to 15% of them actually land profitable trades. The rest are just burning fees. But the ones that win extract enormous value. A single sniper, operating under the label Nassim, bought 5.97 million Trump tokens in the first block for $1.09 million and realized approximately $109 million in profit. One trade. The BNB Smart Chain, or BSC, has a semi-public mempool and 3-second blocks. It's the second most sniped chain after Solana. An academic study published in Usenix Security 2023 found 1.7 million sniping operations on BSC with a total turnaround of $137 million. BSC users lost approximately $31.9 million to snipers. The adversarial templates, the bot code, actually migrate between chains. A sniper built for Ethereum gets ported to BSC, then to Base, then to Arbitrum. The tools. You have probably heard the names. Banana Gun Bot, 1.5 million users, $16 billion in lifetime volume. It operates on 5 chains. Maestro has the largest user base across Ethereum, BSC, Arbitrum, and Sui. Axiom Trade on Solana is Y Combinator backed. Over $150 million in fees since launching in February 2025. Trojan Bot, BullX NEO, BONKbot. These are not underground tools. They have websites. They have Telegram groups with hundreds of thousands of members. Sniping is industrialized. So, what is the damage? Let me give you numbers that are not estimates. These come from peer-reviewed research and on-chain analysis. So we are going to start with each chain. On Ethereum, a 2025 study published in Axiom Transactions on Internet Technology documented 352,413 sniping operations with a total turnaround of $155.6 million. Users lost $25.8 million directly. That's 13,215 ETH extracted from regular traders by bots in a single measurement period. On the BNB Smart Chain, same study, 1.7 million sniping operations, $137.5 million in turnaround. Users lost $31.9 million. On Solana, analysis of 300 plus recent token launches using Axiom Intelligence found that 84% had detectable sniper activity in the first 5 seconds. Over 65% of total launch liquidity was acquired by bots. Retail users got 15 to 25% of initial liquidity access. Average loss per retail user, 0.47 SOL. Across roughly 92,000 affected users over 6 months, that's about 43,240 SOL, approximately $4.3 million in direct financial harm. And this is conservative. It only counts direct sniping losses, not the downstream price impact of bot dumps. There's one more number you should know. More than 99% of people who buy Solana-based meme coins end up at a net loss. Not 60%, not 80%. We're talking about over 99%. Snipers are not the only reason, but they are a major structural reason. They take the initial liquidity, pump the price, dump on the first human buyers, and the chart never recovers. So what can you actually do? I am not going to tell you to stop trading new tokens. You are going to do it anyway. So here's what actually reduces your exposure. Rule number 1, wait 3 minutes. The vast majority of sniper dumps happen in the first 180 seconds. If you can sit out that window, you avoid the worst of the extraction. Set a timer, walk away, come back. The chart will look different, and that is the point. Rule number 2, check the sniper markers before you buy. This is where your tools matter. Intel.com now shows sniper activity directly on token graphs. When you look up a token, you can see if sniper wallets were active in the first blocks. That data changes the calculus entirely. If 70% of the initial buy volume came from known sniper addresses, you know exactly what happened. You're not guessing anymore. Rule number 3. Use anti-MEV routing. Some platforms now offer this. GMGN.ai has an anti-MEV mode. Flashbots Protect on Ethereum lets you submit transactions through private relays so they don't sit in the public mempool. It doesn't solve sniping entirely, but it stops the specific front-running vector on Ethereum. Rule number 4. Support fair launch protocols. Meteora on Solana applies a 6-second linearly decaying sniper tax at launch. Commit reveal schemes hide your intent until execution. Batch auctions process all orders at a single price, making speed irrelevant. Liquidity bootstrapping pools start with high token weight, so early buyers overpay by design, snipers included. These aren't hypothetical, they are deployed and working right now. Rule number 5. Don't be the liquidity for a sniper's exit. This is the hardest rule. When you see a token spike 200% in 30 seconds and fear of missing out hits, that's the sniper selling to you. The green candle is not your signal to buy. It is the sniper's signal to exit. Read it that way. But what about when the dev is the sniper? So far, we have been talking about third-party bots, strangers racing to buy before you. But there's another kind of sniper, and this one is worse because you cannot outrun it. The developer themselves. Here's how it works. A developer creates a token. They deploy the contract, set up the liquidity pool. Normal so far. But before they even add liquidity or in the same transaction, they also buy a massive chunk of the supply from a separate wallet, sometimes multiple wallets. They are the first buyer because they are the one who created the market. They literally defined the starting gun and then fired it at themselves. On Solana's Pump.fun, analysis by Pine Analytics found that 1.75% of all token launches involve sniper wallets seeded by the developers. That might sound small, but Pump.fun has hosted over 640,000 tokens on Solana alone since April 2025. 1.75% of that is over 11,000 tokens. Each one is a trap. And the numbers get uglier. One developer bought 46% of the GMC token supply at launch for roughly $177,000 in profit. The Grad FNF and YX operator group sniped $400,000 of Kando token and turned it into over $2 million in profit. They also made millions on Hawk, Enron, and Shroom. These aren't random bots. These are coordinated operators running labeled address clusters. Kelsia Ventures alone has over 1,000 labeled addresses. The reason dev self-sniping is harder to detect is simple. The insider doesn't need speed. They don't need Jito bundles or co-located servers. They already know when the launch is happening because they are the one launching it. They can pre-position buys, time their liquidity addition, and even write the contract to favor their own wallets. Anti-sniper taxes and cooldowns don't work here because the developer controls the contract and parameters. So how do you spot it? A few red flags. First, check if the same wallet that deployed the contract also bought a disproportionate share in the first blocks. Go over Intel's wallet risk scoring catches related wallet patterns. If the deployer and the top buyer share funding sources, that is a signal. Second, look for concentrated supply in the first few seconds. If one or two wallets hold more than 20% of the supply within the first minute of trading, that is unusual for a genuine fair launch. Third, check if the developer wallet has a history of launching and dumping. Serial offenders exist. They launch a token, self-snipe, dump, and move to the next a new name. This is where on-chain intelligence matters. You can't see this from a chart. You need to look at the wallet relationships, the funding trails, the deploy history. That is exactly what wallet risk APIs are built for. So I am going to close this down by saying that sniper bots are not going away. The infrastructure that enables them, Jito on Solana, MEV-Boost on Ethereum, the entire private RPC ecosystem is profitable for validators and block producers. That is a structural incentive that won't change from a YouTube video. The dev self-sniping is even harder to stop because the person setting the rules is also breaking them. You cannot regulate what you cannot see. But you can change how you trade. Wait 3 minutes. Check the sniper markers before you buy. Look at wallet relationships, not just the chart. Use anti-MEV routing and stop reading a 200% spike in 30 seconds as a buy signal. It is almost certainly an exit. If you want to see sniper activity on tokens you're watching, go over intel.com shows it on the token graph. Sniper markers, wallet risk scores, deploy analysis. Free to use. 30 plus security checks per token, 22 plus chains, and the link is always in the description. Stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.